What happened to Saidi Hotel? Hello explorers, are you ready for a creepy adventure? Come with me as we dive into the creepy past of one of Benin City's most famous abandoned hotel, Saidi Hotel. And in case you are wondering, yes, this is the same hotel that Rema and Shalipopi shot the visuals of their hit song Benin Boys.
They like to do it. If you play with the boys, if we not they make too much noise. Now we they put you know the billings where we do and one test. Chop you and keep my teeth you
for how you can make money, a lot of money from distressed deals in real estate. And the video you just watched was the video of one of the oldest hotels in Benin City that has now become decrepit. And it was shot by that creator. And I'm going to play the other parts of the video where he's talking about the conspiracy theories behind it. But deals like that, deals where, oh, this is an abandoned building, this is a building that's old, this is a building that, many things could have led for it to get to that point of being distressed or being abandoned. And deals that if you craft the right offer and then you come in with the right with the right skills, you can make money. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to be joined at the end of the part where he discusses this. I'm going to be joined by somebody to discuss this with you. So let's actually continue with the video.
Established over 40 years ago, Saidi Hotel was one of the finest hotels in Benin City, owned by a foreigner whose identity still remains a mystery. From the elegant wall art to the grand view, this place radiates royalty. But today, only remnant of its former glory remains, as it has been abandoned long ago. Now, let's talk about the conspiracy theories that surround its abandonment. The exact reason is still unclear, but here are 3 popular stories. The first conspiracy theory tells of a story about how the owner was a notorious fraudster and ritualist, and his shady dealings eventually caught up with him. The second theory suggests that a tragic death in the hotel's swimming pool led to its immediate closure, while the third conspiracy theory involves a legal dispute, possibly with the government, resulting in the owner losing the hotel. While none of these stories are confirmed, given the fate of many abandoned buildings in Nigeria, there might be some truth to them. And what is more fascinating is the fact that despite this place has been closed down for long, the structure still stands strong. In fact, it has become a hotspot for content creators and photographers, especially after Benin Boys was shot here. Now, the price for using this location has gone up. Rumor has it that the hotel has recently been bought over by a wealthy Nigerian and renovations are currently ongoing. Would you like to visit Saidi Hotel, or do you know the real story behind this abandonment?
So you've heard about this particular hotel, and I'm using it as a point of contact, but just to talk about the idea behind this sort of investment. So take a watch at how you can actually do this in paper, looking at another development as a case study. So for my program, we went here to the Battersea Power Station. It's a decommissioned coal-fired 42-acre power station built in the 1930s. It's grade 2 listed building. So if you look at the picture on the left, this height was abandoned and forgotten for a while. The world is turning into clean energy. So most of all of these former coal sites being abandoned and stopped. It was a very industrial place, and it was starting to fall into decline. But it was massive, 6 million square feet of internal space. And it's a prime example of how you can create a lot of equity and value in the distressed property. So let's go to the next. This is the timeline of the property in the market. So after it closed down in 1983, John Broom's plan for a theme park failed due to costs. So somebody came up with a bright idea, I would say, ambitious, albeit. It failed. And in 1993, it started a 15-year long process of trying to purchase it. And it's different from Nigeria. Sometimes the sales process can take a very, very long time. And that's why some companies, I know they do it in tech, they ask people to pay a commitment fee. And in fact, last a few months ago, when one of my clients went to see a developer, they asked them to pay a commitment fee. Like, it was the first time I was hearing about it, but these deals tend to can't drag long, especially deals that will be worth millions and hundreds of millions of pounds. So it dragged on for 15 years. But in 2006, Real Estate Opportunities, REO, they bought the site for 400 million. But that was 2 years before the global financial crisis. Real estate has various cycles. You have the boom, and then you have the bust. And then you have these sort of cycles. You get into a bubble, there's a bust, then you go back to the boom. And it's very essential to pay attention to these cycles, because as it's affecting some people are at the other end. Right now, like, Naira is highly depreciated. A lot of Nigerians in the diaspora are buying up Nigerian assets because they are undervalued at the moment. So that's what happened to these guys. By 2011, they were in severe financial distress and they were defaulting on loans. And in the late 2011, the site entered administration, and then it was taken over by the Lloyds Banking Group and Ireland's National Asset Management Agency. Finally, in 2012, it was sold at an auction for 400 million. So, to give context, it was bought in 2006 for the same 400 million pounds. So 10 years later, it was sold for, rather 6 years later.
6 years later.
Yeah, 6 years later, it was sold for the same 400 million pounds. And this was a Malaysian consortium of SP Setia, Stein Derby, and the Employees Provident Fund. And I want you to speak a bit about that. So recently, we've been talking about individuals, but this is a company or a fund / a consortium coming together. And I know for many hedge funds, for many of your pension schemes, pension funds that you guys are using to pay and plan for retirement, real estate is one of the major, this type of deals. And what we're talking about today is one of the major areas they're looking to put in people's money that will guarantee the returns in the next coming years. Is that right, Mary?
Yes, it is. And particularly with the pension funds, right? They are like very delicate assets. They are people's life earnings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mandatory to ensure that you are investing in, something that's got a collateral, or it's, being backed on a physical, asset like real estate, because you don't want to take the stock market optional route where, the market can crash, and then, someone's life earnings is at risk, and, it becomes a story. Or, there's little or nothing to do about, that sort of crash. Sometimes the market can crash and it can go for a very long time, especially when it's like
to recover.
To recover. So, real estate is always like the go-to investment for, pension, funds. And also with the hedge funds, already we all know that real estate in itself is a hedge against inflation. So it's like an ideal asset for hedge funds and all that. Yeah, so that's really it. Most of these funds, that's like where they are being invested, depending on what the funds are meant for.
Yeah. So this particular deal, do you consider it a good deal?
Absolutely. A deal that sold 6 years after for the same, value it was listed at the time is definitely a very good one, because every year definitely should add on to the value of the property, especially based on the location. I'm not saying that with all real estate properties or real estate assets those appreciate. There are times when we record like depreciation, but with this particular property, it's obviously, an issue or a case where there was an appreciation, but then, distress and all of that presented an opportunity for it to be purchased at that price. And automatically that meant that there was already equity on it, meant that automatically the buyers have made huge lumps on it. And it's not just, you know, deals like this. They're like very many, sort of deals where we make a few millions on it, and it's great. Like you were talking about Nigeria. Nigeria is in a distressed situation at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in a better place now. I believe it's for the, for the best or the better of the country in the future. But currently, it really doesn't look like that. And with this, current situation, you have a lot of people selling off their properties below the value.
Yeah.
And then you have, like you said, Nigerians in the diaspora who seem to be in a better situation, taking advantage of this, situation
Yeah.
and all of that. So by purchasing those properties already, they are being sold out of, a need for finance, at the moment. So it's more like they're going below the actual value of the properties.
Actual value.
Now
Yeah.
the buyers are able to make some few hundreds of thousands or millions on this property already,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a smart move, which is one of the ways that you can take advantage of,
Yeah.
situations like this distress and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, because even looking at averagely, your property should in this particular location should add at least 10% equity. So in 6 years, we should have seen at least 60% appreciation,
Of
barring
course, of
any
course.
year. But they were still able. That means they were able to get. I was saying they were able to get you at least that much discount, and they were able to also leverage that to probably get a loan from the bank to for improvement cost of up to £9 billion. Because now this is a good and nice assets that you're able to leverage off from the bank. And in such a short while, whilst we're doing the research for this. So 2006, they got this site. So not long, sorry, 2012, they got this site. Not long after, the US consulate was announced, literally the next year, and a conditional agreement was announced for the US consulate to come here. And obviously, that announcement alone, the US consulate cost about £1 billion for every single thing. That announcement in less than 1 year increased the value. And then in
Yeah.
2021, some years later, the northern line to Battersea was extended here, which also increased
But
the value and also the equity there. So in just a short while, so if you are an investor in the fund or you were a stake or shareholder, first of all, you've gotten this property. The company has gotten this property at a discount, likely at least 60% discount. Number one. $9.9 billion, £9 billion worth of improvements. Number two. Number three, the US consulate moves to this neighborhood. And number four, the northern line is extended. So that means people can go to different parts of the city cheaper. So just imagine what value add is for that property in such a
yeah,
short time. In such a short time. So this was a sweet deal. This was a very
yeah,
good deal. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm very-
Automatically, very, very low, less risks, to be
Yeah.
honest, because yeah, the fund managers would automatically want to keep reinvesting because
Yes,
then it
definitely.
looks really good.
It looks really good. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the site already had so we had talked about the fact that even from the first guy in the 90s, he wanted to do a theme park. So the site already had planning permission. So you don't have to
Yeah.
even pay extra for
Yeah.
planning. And plan, if
No.
you know UK, planning is a big thing. Sometimes it can take you 1 year, 2 years to get planning permission. So there was
Sure.
existing planning permission on the site. This was the holy grail.
Yeah.
The holy grail mixed
Yeah.
use. And in fact, Apple got about 500,000 square feet of space there. One of the tenants there got over 500 square feet of square space. You have luxury retail spaces, and also
Spaces.
you have residential because it's a mixed use. So that's what they had the planning for. So this is an example of a good deal that slipped through the hands of many people, and a company that had the funds because it's not anybody that can do this, that had the funds
Exactly.
that were raised, they were able to take advantage of this deal. Yeah.
Like individuals like yourself and myself,
Yes.
or regular investors out there, no matter how experienced you are, seasoned, serious, whatever you are, you definitely cannot get hold of this property on your own.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. These are the type of deals that you need to combine forces together to be able to get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a whole team of experts.
A whole team of experts, and then you pull in funds from different areas. So now we're going to go to the next. How do we find these sort of markets and below market value properties so that we can start to make money from this? So I'll start with auction sites, and before we go to the remaining ones. So there are companies like Savos. They have dedicated for. I know for Savos, I work with Savos with the company I was working with. So I think they have a 2 week period where you're gonna put in all of the properties that they have, and then you can actually go there, and there will be a guide price, and you'll be able to auction. So the person that gets the last auction, you know how auction site works and everything, they're able to get the price, get the property. So let's say people, instead of listing the market, going through to the normal process of agency and whatever, and however long it will take, they can want to turn it around very fast. And so auction sites may be a good way for you to find. We give you other options: auction house property. You can go to their website, auctions UK, STL property auctions. These are how you can get below market value properties. Yeah. Then we also have marketplace sites. So if you go to Rightmove, Zoopla, so sometimes you see, oh, property reduced. You can search by terms, needs home improvement. So you see some listings that will tell you, okay, this needs improvement, this needs issues checked. This is kind of like the whole buy, refurbish, build, rent, refinance model. So you look for something that's run down. You look for something that people are avoiding. And so these sites, the auction sites, and also your normal marketplace sites can be a way to go. But like we are saying, it's not just about finding these opportunities, being able to fund it. And so for so many people, we're going to talk about the disadvantages or the barriers to entry that you likely face if you want to do this on your own. But there's also a way that you can do this without doing this. And so, Mary, can you help us to talk about the property bond?
Okay, so another way that you can take advantage of this opportunity, obviously, is going through asset management, companies that specialize in investing in alternative investment sort of products. So with the asset management companies, they're like companies that specialized in acquisition of this below market value and undervalued sort of assets in like massive acres and quantities and assets, like really big assets. And then what they do is they sort of issue loan notes, put resources together, acquire these properties, and automatically they have made like millions of dollars and pounds on this property, because then, just like the case of the Battersea station, it was purchased for the same value as was being offered 6 years before. You purchase these properties, automatically you've made like millions already as equity, and then you just refurbish it, regenerate it, and either resell or retain, and make it an income generating asset basically. So with the loan notes, it just gives investors opportunity to invest very little, from basically anywhere around 10,000, 20,000, $50,000, pounds, even up to 100. There's really no cap. You can do a million, but most of them come in with like a minimum, which is around $10,000 in pounds. and then they offer you returns. So obviously, it's backed on the property, and you really have no problem at all. It's just that it just gives you an opportunity to own these assets, make huge returns. Like the equities that have been already acquired, you just make these returns of it. Tap into making the returns of the properties without really going through the hassle of purchasing them or trying to get these deals. Just like we did say initially, it depends on your network. If you have access to this information, you tap into it, you purchase, they put the resources together and offer you the returns. So usually with the returns, they are definitely above the average market return, which is like 6% for stocks and all of that. And they are fixed. That's the amazing thing, Uche. They are like fixed returns. So it's
Like
not
fixed bonds.
exactly. It's not dependent on the market, like the market crash and all that, because they are physical assets. Definitely can be refinanced. They can be sold and all of that. So it's like fixed returns. If you're being offered 12%, they go very high. They can go from 12% all the way to 16%. Imagine making 16% returns. And it's a no-brainer, because this is how the properties are being acquired. This is how the equity already is being acquired on the property or released on the property or being made, and investors get their returns really. So that's how it works.
So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in getting these sort of deals, contact me to get you started on your journey. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, share, subscribe. Click the link below to comment. I'll see you at the very next video. Bye-bye.